Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we're going to talk about wealth inequality gap. It starts off just like this. The top 76% of the wealthiest in the United States owns, get this, 76% of the wealth. And guess what the bottom 50% owns? 1%, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't think this is dire, then I have news for you. So please stay tuned. We're going to go over this and what assets really are. I'm just going to tell you right now. Assets pay you. Let's get into this a little bit. And welcome. Stop struggling now. Gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, and please share the videos. You never know who needs to hear this, who's looking for information, because they do not realize that assets pay you instead of these liabilities out here that you're buying for 40, 50, 60, 70, $100,000 when you could be buying assets where you could have checks coming in. Those are assets. So there's different rules with regards to assets. Here in the SSN Nation, assets pay us. We don't have to work for them. That's the key. Now, let's go to the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page, podcast page. As you can see here, please notice we have members. A few are shown courtesy of YouTube over here on the right hand side. So I thank you who are members of the channel, and if you would like to become a member of the channel, please hit the join button over here on the right hand side. If you don't and want to become a subscriber, as I mentioned before, please subscribe. Under the community tab is the deal. If you're a member of the channel and if you're a subscriber, there are memes, there's postings, there's information under the community tab that I post on nearly a daily basis. But members receive special messages for them, which like links so they can join me on any live stream. They get updates as members receive different updates. They get discounts for merch and a few other perks, 1 or 2 videos per month specifically for them as well. So if you'd like to become a member, and that does help out the channel financially, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, year 5 has already started for us, ladies and gentlemen, so we have to stay diligent. And over the last 5 years, we're still dealing with this situation. This right here is an asset. I want you to understand what Investopedia is talking about. A resource with economic value that an individual, corporation, or country owns or controls with the expectation that it will provide a future benefit. Now, that's Investopedia's. SSN Nation members, our mantra, assets pay us. So if I buy something and I can't either work a little bit, have other people do it, and that brings money in, or I can post something on YouTube and that brings money in and I can walk away, or if I can buy a multifamily apartment building or a duplex or a fourplex, I can walk away and that brings money in. Those are assets. What's not an asset is when you go out here and buy a car, for instance, the average price of $50,000 right now, where people are willing to pay $732 a month on average. That is not an asset. The only way it can turn into an asset is if you said, okay, I bought this vehicle, and then somehow that makes money for you. That would be an asset. And then people are confused about a home as well, because you are taught that a home is an asset. It does not pay you. You either have to work for it yourself, or you have already purchased another asset, and that asset that pays you pays for your home. Homes generally go up in value, as they should. So I do not count that as an asset, but it can be if you turned it into a rental, where now you're not working to pay the bill. Now you have it changed into a rental where you're receiving passive income. So let me know what you guys are thinking so far. But now we're going to get to the crux of the problem, because a lot of people don't even know this. Not only are we going to talk about this 10% of the wealthiest, but a lot of people don't understand college. 4-year college degree holders have a median net worth more than 4 times that of someone with only a high school diploma. Now, this does not mean you're not smart if you don't go to college. What this does mean, though, the numbers don't lie. 4-year college degree means you earn 4 times more than the person without a college degree. That's pretty significant. And here in the intro, if you did not understand, this is the devastating news right here. The top 10% of households own 76% of all wealth in the U.S. 10% is 35 million. Okay? While the bottom 50% of households own just 1% of all wealth. 50% of households means 175 people combined own 1% of wealth. This is astronomical. The wealth gap is crazy. So you have to understand there's more to the stories when you don't think about this. You just walk around and go, oh, well, no big deal. I got my job. There's a wealth gap. Well, what you're not understanding is you're getting squeezed. The top 10 percenters, yes, they may pay taxes, but the taxes that they're going to pay will not cover the bottom 50%. So when you need services in your neighborhood, when your neighborhood can't do any reinvestments in that area because the top 10 percenters may not live in your neighborhood, that's why you may notice a discrepancy on certain parts of town. The police show up in 5 minutes or less. Other parts of town, police shows up in 25 minutes or less. Hospitals in certain parts of town are better than other hospitals in certain parts of town. This is all due to a wealth gap. If you want things to be better, you have to start thinking like a top 10 percenter. Now, look at this right here also, in case you're not familiar with this. The wealthiest 10% in the U.S. hold 45% of real estate. You understand what's happening here? They're going to control more than 50% when the next one of these comes out. All right, probably next year when the interest rates reduce. Because why? The banks, the hedge funds, they are now actively out here buying single family homes. So guess who owns those companies? They're already in the top 10% of the wealthiest. Now they're going to be able to buy 50, 100, 200, 1,000 homes using your money that you're putting in to the hedge fund. How is that for irony? So you buy 1,000 homes and the price of the home goes up $300,000. We're talking about $30 million. That starts getting crazy. And guess whose hands that goes into? The top 10%. Meanwhile, the bottom 50% will only have a 1% wealth increase. So while they're getting $30 million, you guys are lucky to just have $300,000 worth of wealth for the bottom 175 million people. You guys understanding the devastation. 54% of the top 10 percenters is in pension entitlements. Notice this number here. A business can be an asset, ladies and gentlemen. Notice 85% of private businesses. This is why I talk about starting your business. Get your LLC. Get in the game, ladies and gentlemen. You'll pay less taxes as well. 34% of consumer durable goods. And you thought when you go down to the store and get that toilet paper, paper towels, and all of this, you thought prices were going up due to inflation, right? All right. So let me know what you guys think down below. This is going to be a short video. I don't have nothing else to say. The stats speak volumes. If you don't want to be in the top 10% by getting those stocks, getting your equities, getting those index funds, getting the mutual funds, investing in a 401k, getting a tax deduction, that's all here on the channel. You can search the channel. That's information for that. If you don't want to get all that, then okay, you can be in the bottom 50%. That's fine. But just know everything's going to cost more next year. The year after that, it's going to cost more than it did in 2024. 2025 is going to cost more than in 2024. 2028 is going to cost more than items cost in 2027. It's not coming down. They control 76% of the wealth, which means they control 85% of private businesses. So anytime you think you're going to walk out here and go to a store and go shopping and think prices are going to stay the same, all they have to do is go, hey guys, all I want to do is just make an extra 3%. And even though this is somewhat of a long video at about 11 minutes right now, I'm going to give you guys a little story. Here's the story. There used to be the company, and still is, a timeshare company called Diamond. They were bought out by another company. All right, I can't remember the name of them. You can Google it. When they bought out the company at their shareholders meeting, they are bragging at the shareholders meeting saying, guys, we're going to make 15% this year. How do you think they're making the 15%? All they do is go back in the door and say, hey, we have timeshare owners. We're just going to raise the price 15% for their maintenance fees. And we're going to raise our rental price because remember, we keep developer units available for rent. We're going to raise that 20%. Bingo, bada boom, we're done. We don't have to really sweat. And since people give us tens of thousands of dollars to buy a timeshare, if they default, we get it back. Win-win. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's a plan for you, and if you're not getting in the game with the asset game right now, I hate to say what's going to happen in 2027, 2028, 2030. The wealth gap is going to be much larger than it is now because the next financial boom, who controls most of the wealth? The top 10 percenters. So if the stock market doubles, which by the way, they own 89% of that, we're talking about trillions of dollars. That doubles. Meanwhile, the bottom 50%, where you only have 1% of the wealth, a few million, tens of millions to divide amongst 175 million, never mind the other 75 to 100 million people that still have to make a living. Because remember, there's roughly 350 million Americans. Let me know what you guys think down below. That's why the channel's called Stop Struggling Now. You have to understand what you have to do. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I have links down below. Make sure you get your free stocks from Robinhood, Webull. Make sure you get that free Bitcoin by mining on your computers or phones. You'll see the link down below. There's no cost for that. You want to buy real estate with no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry? Search the channel for pre-construction properties. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.